Okay, Morgan, what do you have for us today?
Okay, today I'm going to be telling you guys about the infamous and haunted hotel located in Flagstaff, Arizona. Hotel Monte Vista.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. People have been talking about this one a ton lately.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what for. Anyway, let's
We'll
get right into it. Hotel Monte Vista stands at the corners of Aspen and San Francisco Street, just right off of Route 66.
Oh, okay. Infamous cars. Okay.
Yeah, it reminds me of
Cars,
the
yeah.
movie. Yeah. In the mid-1920s, there was something missing in the town of Flagstaff, and that was a luxurious hotel.
Mm-hmm.
The town had been filled with old and outdated overnight accommodation, so they agreed that they needed something new and something first class.
Yes.
They were getting more visitors due to the town's geographical location, putting them near the mountains and the nearby canyons. So the townspeople began fundraising throughout the town in April of 1926, and within 1 month, they raised over $200,000.
Who lives
in
this town?
1926?
Did they strike gold before this?
Maybe.
Oh my God.
I mean, that's a lot of money,
That's
guys,
a ton of money.
in 1 month.
That's insane.
So it totally put their plan ahead of schedule, which led them to break ground 1 month later on June 8th.
Aww.
On New Year's Day, 1927, doors opened for the new hotel, shooting them right into an influx of business and receiving the name Community Hotel.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But it's haunted
basic. Anyway, not long after, the townspeople wanted to contribute the new hotel, to themselves because they paid for it.
Absolutely.
So they ran a contest where any citizen was able to enter a drawing, throwing in a new name, like what it could possibly be named, and it would be the new name for the hotel.
Got it.
A 12-year-old boy won that drawing.
Oh, great. I love that.
Renaming Community Hotel to Hotel Monte Vista, which stands for Mountain View.
Okay, listen to me. That is not by accident. They liked that name the best, and they chose that. That wasn't a drawing.
Right.
They only put that name
They're
in
like,
there.
wow, that's great.
That's actually perfect.
Yeah, I love that Mountain View. We can see the mountains. That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. They did that on
Congrats,
purpose.
12-year-old boy. Also, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a beautiful brick building that outdesigned the rest of Flagstaff's infrastructure. But today, it's a building that will visually transport you back into the roaring 20s.
Got it.
And located inside this hotel was the Monavie Cocktail Lounge.
Oh, I like that name.
And I don't know about you guys, but after a long day of adventuring out west, it is custom to go get a beverage.
You have to do that, or are you even there?
Literally, me and my mom, we did this insane hike in Colorado Springs, and we went to lunch, and she's like, all right, I'm gonna have a sweet tea. I'm like, I'll have a beer.
I'll have 32 beers, actually.
This is insane. I'm drinking a beer.
Dude.
And you guys know, especially if you're a traveler
Yeah.
or a tourist, that you get drunker there.
Yeah, you do. Oh, dude, okay, first off, I've gone on a lot of hikes, especially during the pandemic. I went on 1 billion hikes with Arletta and JT.
Yeah.
And every time we left, I was like, okay, where are we going to get a beer? And everyone's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go here and grab a beer. That's just what you do.
It's custom.
And then when we were out in Arizona with my family, we would go on a hike somewhere. We'd come back, sit down at a thing, and we're all like, beers everywhere.
Yeah.
Every single one, beer.
14-year-old sister, beer.
Beer.
Just kidding. Just kidding, Tanya.
Don't come after us, okay?
So I don't know if you've ever heard this phrase, but it is meet me at the Monavie.
I've never heard it, but I love it, and I'll start using it now.
That's where it's from.
Oh,
and
cute.
It became popular. It was the Cocktail Lounge was a huge freaking hit. And what many don't know about the town of Flagstaff was that back in the 1880s, a system of underground tunnels were built.
Oh, no.
Tunnels are underground tunnels, I'll correct myself, are creepy enough.
All tunnels.
And they're still there this day. But these tunnels that are now used as storage and piping, I doubt that,
No.
connect from Northern Arizona University up into downtown Flagstaff, where businesses like the Weatherford Hotel, which is actually another haunted hotel that maybe I'll cover one day.
Yeah.
Babbitt's Backcountry and Monte Vista had access through these tunnels through their basements. And you know what's I already know where your mind is going.
Yeah.
The university.
Yes.
Into downtown.
Yes.
That is boom, sex trafficking. Where do these people go?
Exactly.
Into the tunnels. So I don't know if there's a lot of shit that goes on there, but
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into it now. But why is that every major majority? Well, why do majority of bigger universities have tunnels underneath them? Our university has tunnels underneath it.
South Carolina
has tunnels underneath it. I mean, literally, I could list off a billion right now. I'm sure we could Google it and have it up, but like that's interesting.
Well, I know underground tunnels. I was reading about them, but I know that they were a hit back then, especially during like Prohibition era.
Oh yeah, to move booze.
Yeah,
got it. Okay,
so I don't know.
That makes sense, but like now it's nothing good that comes out of a tunnel.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
And these tunnels here in Flagstaff were the hot spot for things like opium dens, moonshine distilleries, gambling machines, and smuggling drugs.
Like half of those don't sound really bad, and then it's like, damn it, yeah, really bad, really fast.
Yeah, opium dens, nice, real nice,
not good.
In 1927, I'm just gonna kind of read through fun facts before we get spooky. In 1927, a woman named Mary Costagan was the second woman in the world that was granted a radio broadcasting license. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary. Go, Mary. She walked so that we could run, bitch.
Yes, and Mary hosted her radio station called KFXY from room 105 in the hotel.
We're 204.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, anyway, guys, so Mary is like super dope. Yes, Mary, you're a queen.
Mary.
We love you for that. On top of the hotel was a light that served as an emergency signal for the townspeople in Flagstaff. It would flash or like alert local authorities and citizens of any hazards or catastrophes in the area. That's kind of cool. That's nice. And then it was replaced years later with a bright neon sign that says Hotel Monte Vista. And YouTube, you're looking at it right now. It's huge. You can't miss
Gigantor.
it. During the Prohibition, the hotel changed their cocktail lounge to a speakeasy. But the funny thing is about this is that it wasn't hidden. Like the cocktail lounge is the first thing you see when you go in the hotel, and it wasn't like any type of secret or anything like that. Anybody and everybody knew about the speakeasy. They just didn't give a fuck.
Okay, then it can't be called a speakeasy.
Right, like it's not a speakeasy then.
Let's use our brains. You have to have a password to get into a speakeasy.
Right. Well, I don't think they did.
I think Monavie.
I think in Arizona they were like, Prohibition, that's funny, that's cute. Speakeasy is now open.
Cocktail lounge, meet me at Monavie.
It was forced to shut down in 1931, only to reopen 2 years later when the Prohibition ended.
Jesus.
And I'm sure during this time, the tunnels got lots and lots of action.
Yeah, speakeasy is actually now in the I bet that's what they did.
Yeah.
They just like, oh no, this is our speakeasy. No, actually it's in the fucking tunnels.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. They probably did move it down.
Yeah.
In the 1940s, this is when Western films like really started to kick off. And the most designated film spot was Hotel Monte Vista and the surrounding Flagstaff area. So this brought tons and tons of celebrities into the hotel for overnight stays. Celebrities like John Wayne, Spencer Tracy, Humphrey Bogart, Clark Gable, Bing Crosby, Anthony Hopkins, Esther Williams, Barbara Steinway, and Michael Stipe.
That's awesome.
Which apparently are like really huge names. And I am so sorry to anybody who's older than us that's listening to this and they're about to rip their hair out.
They're like, girls.
But I really, the only name I know is John Wayne because my dad loved Western movies.
So did my grandpa.
Like, loves them. Would still watch every Christmas. I forget what the movie is called. I don't think John Wayne's in it, but it's like Jeremiah Jones or something. I don't,
Jesus.
Marley's going to laugh her ass off.
Sorry, Marley.
And Barbara Steinway was in the OG Titanic.
Yeah.
So I guess we know of her, but...
I'm cracking up. People are pulling their hair out.
No,
right now.
I know because we do.
But I'm not gonna lie. When she said John Wayne, I was like, John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, John Wayne Gacy stayed at.
Are you kidding me?
The Monavie,
and we're like advertising that. We like that. Why do we like that? Why are we romanticizing a serial killer?
Right.
No,
exactly.
he wasn't
no,
there.
not John Wayne Gacy.
Sorry.
John Wayne, the actor.
Sorry, everybody.
Filmmaker, John Wayne.
Oh, he's gorgeous, though.
So with such a wonderful history and giving off such good vibes, there is no wonder that spirits that ended up there stayed there. But what comes to no surprise is that this hotel was not all rainbows and butterflies.
Because where there's history,
there's ghosts.
Yeah.
Today, Monte Vista is known for its hauntings, so let's talk about it. First, we have room 220. This room is haunted by a spirit called the Meat Man.
Oh, no.
A bizarre long-term guest was the Meat Man, and he was known for some strange habits of himself, I guess. He would hang raw meat.
Okay. I didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah, raw meat from his chandelier in his hotel room. And I'm not sure if he was like a butcher or something, but you can't convince me that a room in the 1980s in Arizona was cold enough for raw meat
I'm telling you right now, it absolutely was not.
This guest, or the meat man, was found dead in his room 3 days after he had died. And his cause of death is not known, but I have a pretty wild guess that it's some type of
parasite.
Yeah, bacterial disease from his raw meat. I don't know.
Pounding
in the 95-degree heat of Arizona.
Gross.
Oh, so gross.
In the dry air out there.
Oh,
my body and my skin have still not recovered from that trip. It's been a year.
Swear to God.
It's been a year.
Today, if you stay in room 220, guests will report feeling big, cold hands touching them while they're sleeping. It's also known for the television to act up, the bed linens to be scattered across the room, and the lights on when you turn the lights off. Your typical stuff.
Just some ghostly things.
Next, room 306 is referred to as the woman of the night.
We always have to have one in a haunted hotel.
In the early 1940s, there were 2 sex workers brought to room 306. As the story goes, they were killed by the men that had brought them there and thrown from the 3rd floor window, landing on the street below.
Jesus.
Now, the spirit or the spirits of these women in room 306, they mostly haunt men for good reason. Male guests have reported waking up to an unseen force that's covering their mouths and squeezing their throats.
You know what? I like these girls.
I get into a fight with my boyfriend. I'm probably going to be going to room 306.
Hey, actually, can we get the room at 306 instead? Like, I know you put us in 307, but we would love 306.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes them these men not able to breathe. Also in room 306, any guest, male or female, will usually go and request a new room because losing my train of thought, there is no sense of privacy because there's always the feeling that you are being watched.
Yeah, but they're not judging you. They're just there to kill the men.
Yeah, they're stalking the men to make sure they act right.
Yeah, they're actually hyping you up while you're getting naked.
Get choked, bitch. That's what they're really thinking. In the most haunted room, room 305. Any paranormal show that you watch that visits or covers the Hotel Monte Vista is going to talk about room 305 because it is really, really active. And it's all centered around a rocking chair. And before I tell you guys this story, I'm going to kind of go off track here. So if you want to skip a minute or whatever. When I was young, we were all at the beach with my family. I have a huge family. And we were all sitting around and my uncles were telling ghost stories. And I vividly remember my uncle telling me the story of this rocking chair and like his uncle, I think. And basically I'll just say this little boy and his grandmother used to sit on this rocking chair all the time. Well, the grandmother passed away and this little boy was dreaming that his grandmother was visiting him. Okay. And he woke up and the rocking chair that was usually in the living room had rocked its way like up the stairs and was outside of this little boy's door rocking. And that story, I know there's way more details to that, but I just kind of wanted to briefly tell you guys. That story has been with me. Like, whenever I think of, like, a ghost story that my family has talked about, that's what I think of.
Yeah.
Right there. And it's terrified me. So, rocking chairs have traumatized me since I was, like, 8 years old.
I hate that, but I love it.
Yeah. Like,
hate it, but love it.
He was, like, dreaming of his grandma on the rocking chair, and at the same time, the rocking chair had just been moving up the stairs. That's outside insane. The door.
So this is like one of your family stories?
Yeah, my uncle told me that.
Okay, uncle, write that shit in. Creepy accounts.
Yeah.
All right.
He does not listen to this. Anyway. So room 305 is centered around a rocking chair. And in the room, there is this rocking chair that is wedged up against the window. It's facing outside. Guests and workers will report seeing the rocking chair move by itself, as well as hearing knocks from inside the closet. So people will often see an apparition in the mirror behind them of this elderly woman. And they feel in the middle of the night when they're laying in bed, like a kind of tug on their feet, like they're being pulled. Like,
I hate that.
Get out of my room, almost. So story says that years ago, there was an elderly woman who stayed in room 305. She was a long-term guest at the hotel, and she would sit on the rocking chair, staring out the window for hours on end. Nobody ever knew what she was looking at or what she was looking for, but this woman was found dead in her rocking chair facing the window.
Oh, no.
So some believe that she was waiting for somebody, And even in death, like, she hasn't stopped waiting for this person to return. But
Dude, come back.
But what gets me is the knocking from inside the closet. Like, she had somebody in there, and she was just, like, watching.
For the police to come or somebody.
It's,
oh, that's what it is.
That's where my mind went.
That's what it is.
And that's probably right. And not to brag.
Take everything that you hear as facts. Do not.
That's sarcasm. Please don't.
Please do not.
And then there's the bellboy, or better referred to as the Phantom Bellboy.
Oh, I love that.
The Phantom Bellboy wears an old-fashioned red coat that has brass buttons, and he is seen walking up and down the halls. Guests will hear a knock on their doors and a muffled room service.
I hate that.
But when they open the door, they find nobody.
Literally nobody.
Nobody.
Not a body.
Nothing.
Not a thing. Air.
This same bellboy is spotted standing outside of room 210. And Mr. John Wayne, the filmmaker, not John Wayne Gacy, can attest to that. While filming, he stayed overnight at the Monte Vista and, of course, in room 210, where he would repeatedly hear knocks, open the door, and see this Phantom Bellboy standing in front of him.
John Wayne, are you okay?
Isn't that crazy? There's also an elevator attendant that guests can hear asking, "Which floor?" when no one is in the elevator with them. Fun fact, Hotel Monte Vista was home to the first self-service elevator in the state of Arizona.
That's dope.
So it's one of those elevators that has the pulley gate. You know what I'm talking about? So people will see this apparition of a hand closing that gate.
No, I'm calling 911.
Isn't that crazy? As well as a reflection of a man in the mirror standing behind them in the elevator, because there's a mirror on the back.
I'm looking at
so
the
obviously
man in the mirror.
I know. So obviously they have replaced that elevator, but this one is still in service, and guests can request to use it.
Oh
okay?
yeah, I would request that immediately.
So if they do use it, if they do request it, they're told to keep your eyes down, get to your floor, and walk out the door.
No way, I'd be looking up in the mirror.
I would be like,
hello,
hi. Who's there?
Who was that?
So yeah, pretty crazy. But what I think is most disturbing of all, and I think you will too about this hotel, is what guests and staff refer to as the baby in the basement.
Oh, I hate it.
Maintenance, housekeeping, and other staff will hear disturbing cries of an infant coming from the basement. And it's like a never-ending like loop of cries.
That's awful.
Staff find themselves running upstairs to escape the sound of the cries. And it seems as if the cries like get louder, like it like is following them.
Oh, I feel it up my spine right
Isn't
now.
that so there's no history that's been publicized or reported that could explain what and why this phenomenon happens, but I'm sure there's some type of explanation out there.
Yeah.
And the cries are very real to the people that hear them. Moving into the main destination in the hotel is the cocktail lounge.
Love it.
In 1970, 3 men robbed a nearby bank. Okay. During this altercation, a bank guard shot one of the robbers, and so he was injured, but he was not dead.
Okay.
But he was bleeding, and he was bleeding pretty bad. Well, they got away with the robbery. And when they left the bank, they were like, the 2 guys that were healthy and not bleeding out were like, who wants a drink?
No, they did not.
So they headed to the Monavie for a drink. They did just that. They enjoyed their drink. 2 men having a good time, the other literally trying not to die.
Yeah.
The wounded man bled to death in the bar.
I'm sorry.
Enjoying the last alcoholic beverage of his life.
That's a way to go, but like...
But also, like, the other 2 men, like, let's get some help. Let's not, like, we just robbed this bank nearby. Let's run to this very well-known cocktail lounge they know that they shot one of the robbers.
And, like, that's going to be a gunshot trail.
Exactly. I don't know what they were thinking. So that night, the 2 robbers clearly upset, like so upset about their buddy, you know, who just died in front of them at the bar.
They're like, what happened? Did you get shot?
But with a load of cash in their hands, left, headed home while their wounded robber would live his afterlife in the Monavie cocktail lounge.
Wow.
Guests and staff are always greeted with a warm good morning by an unseen voice. I think he's pretty friendly.
At least he's nice.
Yeah. To this day, they watch as bar stools move on their own, as well as drinks move on their own. And even people have reported that, this is funny actually to me, that their drinks will disappear in their glass. So, like, come on. I can picture this already. Like, I'm in a fight with my boyfriend, or
Yeah.
you're in a fight with Logan, and you're like, no more drinks, let's go. We're going up to our room, like, let's go. And next thing you know, you see another drink, and he's like, well, it just went away, it just disappeared.
It just disappeared.
The robber drank it.
No, I see this going with me and you, and I'm like, who drank my drink? And you're like, you did. I'm like, no, I didn't. I really didn't drink it. It's gone. I paid $13 for this little thing. What do you mean?
And it's gone.
And it's gone. I would lose it.
But you know where this all
Yes.
stemmed from.
Yes.
Like, I don't know if this ghost is drinking their drinks.
Are they pouring it out?
Are they pouring it out, or are the people just so drunk that they're like, where'd my drink go? Like, I swear I
that's
just
where we are.
had a full glass. But yeah, I could see that too. And I'd be like, it was probably the ghost Taylar. But in reality, I probably pulled her drink over and went.
Morgan's a drink stealer.
I do.
You do.
And I drink fast whenever I'm at the bar.
I mean, go watch the YouTube video of us drinking this wine. You'll see it. She's a fast drinker.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I am. Who knows?
I
know.
do.
Sorry. So, on several occasions, people have witnessed a transparent dancing couple moving about the lounge. They are seen wearing formal attire, and they are usually laughing and smiling, and not to be cheesy, but they are eternally dancing.
Okay, tour guide.
I
Calm it
love
down.
that, though.
Calm it
It
down.
was so cute. Throughout the rest of the hotel, you're destined to see orbs flying by, shadow figures in the corner of the halls, hearing footsteps following you. You know, they say it's the most haunted hotel in Arizona, but honestly, guys, for once in my life, I'm just not quite sure.
I'm really not sure either.
Like, I'm not convinced. Like, people, like other places, they can convince me.
Like
just
the
by
Stanley
stories.
Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel,
Haunted.
Been there, haunted. But Hotel Monte Vista, like, I think it's more of just like a throwback to the 20s. And
Like, is it more of like a marketing angle?
That's what I think.
Yeah, because like these just seem kind of basic.
Right. And almost made up.
Yeah, like I know you guys have a loop of a baby crying in the basement.
Like, yeah, where's the speaker?
Yeah, where's it at?
But, you know, it's not scary enough to prevent me from going and staying there.
I think we
So, Taylar, is Hotel Monte Vista on our Creeps and Crimes travel list?
It's on the list.
We love Arizona. So maybe
We
you
love
guys
Arizona.
will catch us there. If you are listening and you have been there, I would love to hear your stories. And I want to know if people actually, like, if you've been there and have experienced the paranormal.
No, I want us to go there and then put out like a thing where you can come meet and greet us at the Monavie.
Catch us at the Monavie.
Oh my God. Oh, okay, fine. We'll put it on our travel list. Whatever.
All right, guys, that's all I have. Let me know if you think it's haunted. It was a very lighthearted haunting, so that's why it doesn't go.
I loved it so much.
It was a good story to tell.
It was a great story, and like it was fun. It wasn't so dark that, you know, I think we had to scale back after all the doll drama that has been going on
Give
lately.
them a fun haunting.
Yeah, we needed to give you some laughter. We need to give you some of our throwback vibes.
Yeah, and maybe next week we'll do like a tragic lover's fate.
You have to.
For the love of Valentine's Day.
Yeah, let me bring the mood down, though, because we're about to discuss a murder.
Okay.
Yeah, a really bad one. So anyways, let's get crimey.
Let's get crimey.